Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, it's not going to be a positive one because we are talking about products that I just don't like for one reason or another, okay? It's not a big deal. If you like them, that's wonderful. We can still sing Kumbaya in a circle. It is all good, but I'm sharing some products that I don't like. Okay, first up is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. Please do not ever insult me again by saying that this is like the Better Than Sex Mascara, okay? The Better Than Sex Mascara is one of my favorites and I've used it for a very long time, and this is not like that. I get it, the packaging is very similar, even the brush is kind of similar, but I don't know if it's because I got waterproof and it may be a little bit of different formula, but I just don't mess with products that aren't ease of use. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to be able to put something on and it look amazing. And in this day and age of products, that shouldn't be an issue. You know what I mean? Like, you should just find something that works and is amazing, and that's that, because there's so many products. This just doesn't. Like, I feel like when I use this, it's just such a thick formula. It's like I have to brush through my lashes with like a clean spoolie first, and then I can go in with this, but I have to like wipe the brush off. As you can see, I don't know if you guys can see on here, but there is like a big coating because I'd wipe it off and then I would like go in very lightly, and I couldn't do too much, and I couldn't, you know, use a hard hand with it. Like, it was just so like finicky, and I just feel like, why waste the time? There's 10,000 other mascaras that work better than this. I just didn't like it. It just didn't look good on me. And you know, for a long time I was going back and forth and I was like, do I get this? Do I not get this? And I had heard so many mixed reviews because people either loved it, but I knew people that didn't like it. And I was like, mm. So finally one day, I don't know why I wanted to do this, but I was just like, I'm gonna get it, and you failed me. It failed me. I don't like this. Next up is the Milani Soft Focus Glow. This is just a complexion enhancer. You can use it as a primer. You can mix it with foundation. You can use it, you know, as a very like soft, subtle cream highlight. It comes in a pump like this, and this is what it looks like. Just kind of like that beigey nude tone, and you know, kind of looks a little bit like a foundation, but once you really work it in, it looks pretty, right? It's nice. Yeah, it's affordable. There's a little on my hand. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know. I think this is just a little too moisturizing. MAC Strobe Cream and my Hocus Focus from Soap and Glory, those are cream products, liquid products that kind of dry down a little bit more. This just still feels like a moisturizer, and I think my skin's just too oily to handle this, because anytime I use this on top of makeup or mixed in with my foundation, I just always feel like it breaks up my makeup. It makes me look a little bit glittery. I don't know. I just don't like the way that this looks. You know how there's just some stuff that you might not be able to like completely put your finger on, but you're just like, there's just something about it that I don't like, and I just don't like this, and I never want to reach for it. I always want to use like strobe cream or Hocus Focus, and I don't know, I just don't reach for it. I mean, I'm gonna use it up because I don't want to waste, but I would never repurchase this again. Even though it's cheap, I just feel like, meh. Again, when there's products that you like better, why waste the time? Okay, look, I love Drunk Elephant products, but I think this is the worst Drunk Elephant product, and it's the Best Day No. 9 Jelly Cleanser. This is a little sample size, but I have used this before. I have used tons of samples before, and I just can't get on board with it. It has cantaloupe glycerin, and of course the Drunk Elephant products are formulated without the 7 deadly sins or 7 things, ingredients that they don't use, like sulfates, phthalates, fragrance, things like that. Which is good, but I just don't feel like this removes makeup, and I also feel like if you're a brand that feels like this is supposed to remove makeup and cleanse the face, why would you then come out with a cleansing balm? But whatever, okay? This, I just feel like, does nothing It's just fine. I think it's a waste of $32 if you go out and buy it. I personally, though, feel in general that you can find a really great drugstore cleanser. I think that when it comes to skincare, cleanser is one of those things that you can kind of save on. I'd rather spend more money on treatments and moisturizers, but to each their own. I get it. I just feel like this just does nothing. And on top of that, I feel like every time I use it, my skin always feels dry afterwards, and I don't know why, but I always kind of feel like, you know? So this is just a pass for me. I'm sure if you watch any Drunk Elephant review video, this will always be like one of the worst products or like last on the list because it's just meh. It's meh. Yeah. Next up is the Anastacio Beverly Hills Dipbrow Gel. First of all, I don't know if you guys can see this, but the packaging is like really scratched up, and I didn't put this in my purse or anything. It just like gets scratched up. Oh yeah, I can just dig my nail in it and make it whole. Okay. Okay, first of all, this might be a little bit of personal preference. I do think the shade Granite that I got is a little bit too dark. I think I should have gone with Espresso, but regardless, I don't really enjoy brow gels that have like pigment to them because my brows are already jet black and really coarse and thick. I don't need anything that's going to add color or thicken. My preferred method is to just use a brow pomade, an actual pomade with a brush, put them on, and then set them into place with my 24-hour brow setter from Benefit. I need a gel that's just gonna put them into place. I don't need like thickening or tinting or any of that. And that's what this does. But I feel like it can get really out of control really quickly. I always have to wipe off the brush. You can't really get in there and like really brush on the product. You have to do it so lightly. Like I barely touch the hairs with this stuff because your brows will become a hot mess and you'll have brow product everywhere and you'll have to like go and like wipe around the brow to get it off, and it's just, like I said, ease of use, okay? And I know that it's not just me because I've tried an Essence, I think it's called the Make Me Brow. If you guys watch my channel for a long time, you guys have seen me probably use it 1,000 times. That was not the same as this, okay? That was like way better, $2. This, I don't know. And part of me feels like, okay, maybe it's not in the color that I need it to be. It's a little bit too dark. But at the same time, I don't know. It's just not my favorite product. Might just be personal preference. I don't know. Is anyone out there like this? Tried this? I'm probably would never buy this again because I barely ever reach for it and I feel really guilty, you know, because it's Anastacio. It's not cheap, but I'm like... So I'm probably going to start using it more just to get rid of it, but I don't like it. Alright, do not hate me for this, and I do love this brand, and that's the thing is that, you know, just because I don't like one product doesn't mean I don't like the whole brand. Obviously, brands are going to have hit and misses, and this was a miss for me. The Jeffree Star Magic Star Concealer. Okay, let's talk about the pluses. I do love the packaging. It's very Jeffree Star-esque. It's very custom. It's very different. And if you're someone who's like all about the packaging, or you feel like if you pay a lot of money, you should have really nice custom packaging, you're gonna get that with this. However, it is a little bit top heavy. It's kind of awkward. It's a little cumbersome. And the star on the top is very pointy. Okay, I could probably kill someone with this. Because it's really sharp, and people were saying that their stars were coming off, but mine's in there like really solid. I don't know. But anyway, you don't get a lot of product in this. I know it's only $22, and I know that there are concealers out there that cost way more, but this is only like 3.4 mils of product. Both NARS concealers are 6 mils, so double the amount of product. The Too Faced Born This Way concealer, that's 15 mils of product. Okay, so, and the Too Faced one is only like $5 more than this one. So for me, I'd rather just pay the $5 more and get way more product. I mean, 15 compared to 3, that's a lot. So it's not really a good deal if you do like the price per gram or whatever. I'm not going to figure it out. So if you're somebody that uses one concealer every single day, you should probably use something else because you're not going to get a lot of bang for your buck. However, I have like 6 concealers that I rotate through, so for me, you know, I mean, if you're someone that has a couple concealers lying around, you might not go through it as quickly. I wasn't a fan of the doe foot applicator at first. It's kind of like this little triangle tipped spike, I don't know, but it actually holds a lot of product, so I can cover my entire face and never have to dunk back in, which is good. I'm in the shade C6. I was actually gonna get C5, which is funny because that was the one that was like stolen from his warehouse, which is really unfortunate, but this is actually perfect. I think if I would have went with C5, it would have been too late. Here's my issue. I know we're like 15 minutes in, but here's my issue. When I swatch this, it is really full coverage. Like, here, I'll show you. Like, here's a little mole on my hand, right? Okay, very full coverage, right? You're like, oh my god, yes, wow, amazing. But when you blend it out, it literally goes away. It dissipates. It blends out to nothing. No coverage. And I feel like that kind of defeats the whole purpose of a concealer. Like, if I wanted just like a little bit of coverage, I would have gone in with a tinted moisturizer or something, you know what I mean? And when I was so like baffled by it, I was like, oh my god, this literally, like, there's nothing. And I used a brush. I didn't even use a sponge. And I just am not someone who wants to continuously layer products. So maybe I could get a little more coverage if I like let that layer dry down and then go in with another layer. But I just feel like I shouldn't have to do that. I feel like the more you layer complexion products, the worse that they start to look, at least for me on my skin. And I also feel like when you set this with powder, I don't even bake anymore. Like, I will set with like a sponge with some loose powder, but I don't necessarily go in and bake. And I still would like look at myself and be like, I look 75 years old. And I have wrinkles that I didn't even know I had. It really emphasizes a lot of texture and a lot of fine lines, which I don't really care for. Not that I'm like super old, but I do have wrinkles under the eyes. And if you have wrinkles under the eyes, because it's inevitable and because we all get old and it all sags and drags, you're gonna see a lot of texture, and I feel like it brings out even more texture than I thought that I had. So for that, I don't like it. I feel like this concealer was made for Jeffrey, who already has beautiful flawless skin, and I feel like if you're someone that has pretty much beautiful flawless skin, then you will really like this. And I do really like this for like an everyday makeup, like I'm just going to a doctor's appointment or school or just to run errands. I can just put a little boop boop and blend it out, and it just kind of dulls the redness in my face, and it's really lightweight. But it's not going to be something that I grab when I want to do a full face of foundation. It's not going to be something I want to grab if I really want to conceal and just have this mask of a mannequin face, you know? It's just not that. So I don't know. I kind of go back and forth because it looks really great for like no makeup days, but on the other hand, it's just not the full coverage dream that I wanted it to be. So because I really don't know where I stand with it, I'm gonna say no, that I wouldn't repurchase this because I don't think that I would. I love my NARS. I love both of them. I love my Too Faced, and I just like those way better, and I can sheer those out if I need to, but those provide a ton of coverage right off the bat. So for me, this is a no-go. I don't know. I just didn't really like it. Maybe if I had perfect flawless skin, I would, but I don't. Oh, this next one. This one breaks my heart. This truly pains me. This is, oh god, I'm just looking at it right now like, oh my god. This is the Touch in Sol Medalist Sparkling Foiled Pigment in the shade Aurora Taupe. This is unbelievably stunning, but it pops out of the pan. Like, I didn't even do anything to it just now, and it just like, I can't even tilt it up to show you guys. Oh, see? And I've had problems with it since I got it, and I tried like spraying Fix Plus on it and like pressing it back into the pan. Like what I'm doing right now, I'm like pressing it back into the pan. But I mean, look how stunning it is. It is so unbelievably gorgeous. When I have this on the eyes, I can't stop looking at myself. You know how there's those products where you're just like, is that me or is that Beyonce? You know, you're like, you just can't, like those shades, those things that you're just like, oh my God, like you get so horny just looking at. Here, I'll swatch this one for you. I love the way that this looks. It is so beautiful. It gives so much dimension. Oh my God, look at it. Are you guys like dead on your grave? It's so stunning, and it's such a beautiful color because it is like a taupey kind of brownish gray, but it has all these purple and green and silver reflect in it that just gives it just, oh, something special. But I cannot stand that it constantly breaks apart and falls out of the pan and does all these wackadoo things. I mean, wasn't a cheap single eyeshadow. This was like a $25 single eyeshadow. And I'm sorry, but like there are so many other like foiled pigments and eyeshadows and sequin glittery things on the market now that why is this happening? I wish that they, I don't know, found a better formula, packaged it a little bit differently, added more oil. Like, I don't know what they could do, but I just wouldn't repurchase this because you end up wasting so much product because it's broken and it's falling out and it's falling all over the place. And then it's not enjoyable, you know, especially when you spend so much money on it. It's just not enjoyable. So, unfortunately, as much as I want to like go and buy all of them, I'm just afraid that they're all going to be like this and it's just going to be a mess and a hassle. So that is a no-go from me. All right, the last little bitch on this list that I do not like is the Farce Skin Tune Blur Primer. Where to begin? Okay, this is beautiful. It's stunning. This beautiful teal bottle with like the gold and the white. Like, it's just so fanciful. I love it. This is supposed to be like a smoothing, blurring primer. You're supposed to look like you have a filter on when you don't. I do like the smell. It smells really good. I guess it's supposed to be a perfecting primer serum. I don't know. The directions say use with or without makeup. Use as a blurring and tuning serum after moisturizer. Apply on T-zone all over face or as a primer before makeup application. I just use this as a primer. I feel like it did absolutely nothing. Like, it didn't make my makeup last longer. I didn't feel like my skin looked better, looked smoother, looked nicer. I didn't feel like my face looked blurred. I didn't feel like I had a filter on. You know, I didn't feel any of that. And this was $56. $56. It pains me. I've never bought anything from Farce because it was always like oil primer type things, beauty oils that were really expensive, and as someone who has oily skin, I just don't need a beauty oil. So when I saw this, I was like, ooh, okay. But yeah, this just, I don't know, this just like does nothing. I see nothing, and the times where I do feel like my skin looks really nice from using this is when I use a shit ton of it. Like, you have to use so much of this primer to even get a little give, a little something, and to me that's just ridiculous. I should be able to use a pea-size amount and get a really nice, beautiful base. I don't feel like you should have to put tons and tons and tons of this on. The other thing that I don't like is that I get it, the bottle, the dropper, it's their aesthetic, I get it, it's their thing, but like this is way too thick. Like, did you see that? Like, it's way too thick to be in this dropper bottle. It's super hard to get out. It feels really nice on the skin, and as it dries down, you'll notice that it does feel like velvet. Like, when I touch my face feels like velvet. It's really crazy. Like, I'm touching the back of my hand, and it's starting to get like that velvety texture to it. It does smell really good. But I just don't see enough of a difference. It's matte. I wish that I could return it because I don't know, I just saw people raving about it, and even the girl at Sephora was like, ooh, I don't normally use Farce stuff, but I use this, and she's like, I really, really love it, and I was like, okay. But yeah, I'm sad. I mean, of course I'll keep using it and continue to use it up, but I would never recommend this or repurchase this ever again. It just does nothing. It's nothing. Goodbye. So thank you guys for sticking around and watching my video. That is all the products that I have for you. Let me know if you're surprised by any of these, if you're like, duh, we all knew that sucked. And let me know some products down below that you guys like or don't like. I always like new suggestions. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!